Hi. Today we come across the Chariot, and with that we come across another duality again, and this time a very different one from the lovers. The lovers, we first met the other, and this was someone or something we were attracted to. With the Chariot, we come across a pole, an opposite, an other that we're not attracted to, or that is in contradistinction to some other side. So that there's a war here. We're talking about a chariot, which is meant to be a war vehicle. So, and what the chariot traditionally signifies is dealing with contradictory forces that would tend to pull you in opposite directions, and by the force of will, making those by the force of will, determination, discipline, pure force, making those two distinct, different poles or ideas or forces work towards one goal, one same goal that you determine. So you can see that the chariot might signify a difficult day, a day where your chosen goal encounters some difficulties, either from without. Maybe somebody else is like saying, oh, that's silly, don't do that. You have other stuff you have to do, or from within, where you could be getting the same message. Either way, the chariot is about how you deal with those conflicting poles within yourself or from outside. Again, we're talking about a battle, and this has to do with how you deal with really good and evil, opposites. Um, right and wrong, but basically dark and light. And all of the cards show some version of, here's my card, whoops, upside down, um, that you see the charioteer, and you see a white horse and a black horse, and the sun and the moon being pulled they're pulling in opposite directions, and he has to control it. Same idea with this other of my version cards, and the Rider Waite and the Crowley similarly, although they show there's less of a sense of forward movement. Can you see that? And they have sphinxes, but definitely still a strong character. And even this older version, and the older versions are often kind of different, but here we still see a chariot with two horses wanting to pull in the same direction, different direction, sorry. So one thing that's really, you have to understand something about a chariot. It wasn't like driving a car, and it was a war vehicle. So it was a two-wheeled vehicle, which already has balance issues, and meant to hold only two people, one the charioteer and the other the warrior, who would be doing the fighting. And because it was a war vehicle, it would be pulled by the most powerful steeds that you could imagine. So two alpha males who may be difficult to train to work together, or to make to work together, which would be the charioteer's job, and to keep that going in as balanced and functional a way so that the warrior could do his work. Some occultists have likened this to the body, because the other aspect of the charioteer, because it takes so much effort, the idea is that this is an effort you can only expend over a certain limited period of time. You can't keep holding these two forces, making them work together indefinitely. You can do it for a period of time, and you can have victory if you can do it successfully for a period of time. So it's likened to the body because our body, of course, is subject to time. And we are subject to conflicting poles, conflicting directions we want to go in, conflicting ideas of right and wrong, or shoulds and shouldn'ts. And the chariot is about how you manage that. Again, traditionally, they say through the force of will, you just choose and you make it go in that direction, which could be how you could use it today. That you may encounter some obstacle or difficulty or some sort of ambivalence or doubt, and you just push on through it through the force of discipline. There is another interesting aspect to consider about the chariot, that is that anyone with any knowledge of Eastern religious texts just can't avoid, because one of the most powerful and important religious texts is the Bhagavad Gita, in which Krishna an incarnation of God, a loving incarnation of God, is the charioteer for Arjuna, the most powerful warrior on one side of a battle. So this battle is a really difficult battle in which two sides of an extended family are fighting over a kingdom. And the Arjuna, on the eve of battle, says he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to fight. The first chapter is called Arjuna's Depression, because he's just like, meh, had enough of it. And first of all, Krishna starts talking to him, you know, you have to, this is your duty, this is your responsibility, this is what everybody's counting on you. And then, you know, you'll feel shame, nobody will want to talk to you, everybody will laugh at you, they'll say you're a coward. None of these convince him. So Krishna offered services to both sides. So this is not to condone a holy war, not at all. In fact, the other side got the first choice, and they chose all of Krishna's men and all of his armies and all of his weapons, and they got all that. And Arjuna, who was actually happy, he wanted Krishna was his friend. He said, I'll be your charioteer. The other side gets me, and I'll be your charioteer, but I will not fight. You have to do all the fighting, I'll just drive your chariot. So that's the idea too. You can already see where this is going. The idea of surrendering the control of the body to God on some level. And again, this is not to condone a holy war, because that's not the idea at all. God is on both sides in different ways. But then what all of the Bhagavad Gita is, in the midst of another long text about the war, is the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna about how to act in this world where there's good and evil, in this world where sometimes you have to do things that you feel conflicted about, or that that you may exactly not want to do, or where you may feel depressed or angry or any of a number of feelings that cloud your judgment and your ability to act, but where you are called upon to act, because this is a world of action. And the field of battle is called Kurukshetra, which is the field of action. So the conversation and the battle is meant to be taking place, it's talking about this real, very real world where good and bad exists, where there's forms, and where you have to do things. And you can't avoid doing things. Even if you do nothing, you're doing something. So the whole point of the Bhagavad Gita is, to sum it up, is how to take action and let go of the fruits of your action. How to do what you have to do and do it in the right way. The whatever way is the way that you have to do it, and then just let it go. And how to not be pulled apart, but in fact, how to master them. And you still have to deal with them. Arjuna still has to fight, and he has to fight a long and difficult battle in which almost everyone dies. You have to do the work, but how to do it without getting caught up, how to do it without pain. And that can be sustained for a longer period of time, because you're letting go of you're doing the work, but you're letting go of being the one in charge. You're letting Krishna or Jesus or some incarnation of the divine that you feel personally connected to. They're doing the driving. You're just doing the fighting. So see how you can relate to that with what you have in front of you on what may be a challenging day, and with a card that may be challenging but is also not just empowering but ultimately inspiring. How do you move ahead in the face of forces that would pull you apart? You may decide that you know what to do, and it's just a day to be as disciplined and focused as possible. Or perhaps thinking about what it would mean to surrender the driving of the chariot to some incarnation of the divine. What would that be like for you? Enjoy your day with this card, and I will see you very soon with the next card, which is strength. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.